Okay, so let's jump right in. There is a quiet revolution happening all around us. And I mean literally in the very bones of our cities and our homes. Today, we're going to dig into the huge shifts in how we design, build, and even think about our buildings.
But first, I want to start with a big question, a real what if. What if the buildings we live and work in weren't just shelters? What if they could actually be part of the solution to our biggest environmental challenges? You know, what if they could give back more than they take? It's a pretty powerful idea, and honestly, it's at the heart of everything we're about to explore.
So, why is this so urgent? Well, this number is a huge part of the reason why. Here in New Zealand, our buildings are responsible for up to 20% of the country's total greenhouse gas emissions. That is a massive slice of the pie. And it covers everything, from the materials we use to the energy we need just to heat and cool our spaces for decades. The bottom line is really simple. We can't tackle climate change without first tackling our building.
To understand how we're doing that, here's a quick roadmap for today. We'll start with the problem, then we'll dive into 3 key areas of innovation: smarter design, some game-changing technology, and a real revolution in the materials we use. And then we'll see how it all comes together to build a new foundation for our future.
All right, so let's start by getting a handle on the true scale of the problem. To really get the hidden costs of our current approach, we first need to define what the finish line, the ultimate goal, actually looks like.
And here it is. This is the gold standard, a net zero building. The idea is, well, it's brilliantly simple. You combine extreme energy efficiency with enough on-site renewable energy to meet its own needs. And the result? A building that basically takes itself completely out of the climate equation. And look, this isn't science fiction anymore. It's the target we're actually aiming for.
So how do we get there? Well, the journey to net zero starts long before any construction even begins. It starts not with a hammer and nails, but with a pencil and a pixel. It all starts with smarter design.
And, this isn't just some niche idea. It is a movement that is gaining incredible momentum. Just look at the growth in green building certifications right here in New Zealand. After a 34% jump in 2021, certifications just soared by 50% in 2022. That's not a trend, that is a massive signal that the industry is taking this very, very seriously.
One of the most exciting ideas driving this change is something called regenerative design. This goes way beyond just being sustainable or, being less bad. A regenerative building aims to be actively good for its environment. Just imagine a building that captures and purifies its own water, generates more energy than it uses, and is built entirely from non-toxic, healthy materials. It's literally a building that's designed to heal.
A fantastic example of working smarter, not harder, is the Passive House Standard. It's all about focusing on these 5 core principles. Basically, you make the building a super sealed, super insulated box, almost like a thermos, with really, really good ventilation. And by doing that, you can slash your heating and cooling costs by up to 90%. It's a design philosophy that relies on pure physics, not on complicated machinery.
And you know what? Smarter design is also about us, the people inside. Biophilic design is based on this deep understanding that we are just healthier and happier when we're connected to nature. And this is so much more than just putting a few pot plants on a desk. It's about using natural light, materials like wood and stone, and making sure you have views of the outdoors to actually reduce our stress and boost creativity. Okay, so we've got the design philosophies down. Now let's look at the incredible digital tools that are making these ambitious projects not just possible, but practical.
Leading the charge here is something called Building Information Modeling, or BIM. The best way to think of it is creating a complete digital twin of the building before a single shovel ever hits the ground. But this isn't just a 3D model. No, it is a data-rich replica where every single component, from a specific type of screw to the exact path of every wire, is all accounted for. It's the building's complete digital DNA. And the power of that digital twin becomes so real, right here. Using virtual reality, the whole team, architects, engineers, even the clients, can literally walk through the building together. They can spot potential problems and perfect the design in the digital world, where changes are cheap and easy long before construction begins in the real world, where mistakes get very, very expensive. So the practical benefits are just enormous. Suddenly, everyone is working from the exact same playbook, so coordination is seamless. The software can automatically spot where a water pipe might clash with a steel beam, which prevents these super costly on-site errors. And it allows for such meticulous planning that you optimize all your resources and make construction sites way safer for everybody. All right, let's get our hands dirty and talk about the actual stuff we build with.
Because let's be honest, if we want a different kind of future, we have to build it with different materials.
So meet mass timber. Now, this is not the lumber you just buy at the local hardware store. We're talking about massive engineered wood panels and beams that are unbelievably strong. So strong, in fact, they can replace carbon-heavy steel and concrete in mid and even high-rise buildings. Oh, and as a bonus, the wood actually stores carbon for the entire life of the building.
But as incredible as mass timber is, it's really only one piece of a much, much bigger puzzle.
There's a whole new, and in some cases a very, very old palette of materials that's coming back. We're seeing super insulating walls made from straw bales, and concrete-like blocks made from hemp, and a huge new interest in ancient techniques using earth and clay. I mean, scientists are even experimenting with building materials that are literally grown from fungi.
And we're not just finding alternatives, we're also making our most common materials better. We all know concrete production is a huge source of CO2, but green concrete is changing that. It replaces a huge chunk of the cement with industrial waste products, like fly ash from power plants, and that dramatically reduces its carbon footprint. So, when you put it all together, you take the ambitious designs, the powerful technology, and these incredible new materials, you start to see it. You start to see the foundation of a completely new way of building our world taking shape.
This quote just nails the shift in mindset, doesn't it? For decades, the goal was to be sustainable, to do less harm. The new goal is to be regenerative, to use our buildings as tools to actively heal our ecosystems and to improve our own well-being.
And this isn't some far-off, futuristic dream. This timeline shows that it is happening right now. The boom in green building is already well underway. The adoption of critical tech like BIM is already widespread. Landmark regenerative projects are nearing completion, and it's all building towards that crucial 2050 goal of a totally net zero built environment.
So, the blueprints for a better future, they're already here. The technologies exist. The materials are being developed. The only real question left is for us. The way we build is changing, and it's changing profoundly. So, are we ready to live in the future that we're creating?